Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, January 13th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. Welcome, one and all. I'm your host. I have not played myself, unlike one Roman Reigns, Jeremy Pierce, and you know you can catch me on the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52. We got some new videos up over there, and of course the 215 on Twitter. We got coffee, we got Patreon. We're gonna start fixing those up as well. The Wix site will be here at the end of the month. I've just gotta reorganize a couple things. But as for today's show, last week we had the AEW and WWE predictions, but today we've got our 2024 TNA Wishlist. I am very excited for this. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my. All right, so with this TNA wish list, we've got to go over a few things. And today with our list, it is which championships need the most work. And it's just like slight changes that I need to see. So number 5, the Knockouts Championship. They don't need much. Like they really don't need anything. They probably don't even need to be on this list. But I just want to see some new challengers step up. I just want to see a couple new people break into the forefront outside of Jordan Grace, outside of Trinity. I want to see. I essentially want to see a brand new champion this year when it comes to the Knockouts Championship. I am looking at you, Giselle Shaw. Number 4, the Tag Team Championships. These don't need much work either. I just want to see some new tag teams, and they've brought in the Grizzled Young Veterans, and I really just want to see just more like true teams, and I essentially want to see a bona fide tag team feud like we have in AEW with the Young Bucks and FTR, because we know whenever they get together, it's going to be magic. If ABC retains tonight, I want to see a true team challenge them. Looking at you, Grizzled Young Veterans. The World Championships. I just want to see, number 3, I just want to see a new world champion. Love Alex Shelley, but I want to see someone new who you didn't expect to be world champion. And TNA is really good for doing that, which is great. Remember when Rich Swann was the world champion? Steve Maclin was world champion. I just want to see someone else elevated to that championship status. You know what I mean? Number 2, the Knockouts Tag Team titles. I'm going to keep this one short because they are on the wish list. I just want to see more official tag teams. That's it. That's it for this list. I just need more official tag teams. No, not 2 women coming together to be a team. But we'll dive into that a little bit later. And number 1, the Digital Media Championship. Every company needs a mid-card title, and this is essentially their mid-card championship. I just hate the name, and I wish they changed the name. I really do. I hate the name, the Digital Media Championship. Just call it the TNA TV Championship. But now that Tommy Dreamer has a new belt, they're not changing their name. So essentially what I want is a full division built around his belt, and just to see more guys start treating it with a little bit more importance. But that's the list, and we shall be right back. Today, the spotlight shines on one Crazy Steve. Ever since returning to TNA, he has afforded himself well and becoming this wild card. I think there are 2 wild cards in TNA. Crazy Steve and the other being PCO. And Steve is, well, crazy. He is going to I think, be someone special in TNA moving forward. He is even on the rest of the show. We'll get to that later, but he's a unique character who affords himself well in the ring, on the mic. He knows his presentation, and he's someone you can get behind. Not like as a face, but someone like, yo, I want to see this dude succeed. And he's telling a beautiful, brilliant story right now, going against Tommy Dreamer. So I want Crazy Steve to be one of the big stars in TNA this year, and it wouldn't be shocking if he does become a big star in TNA this year. The spotlight is on you, Crazy Steve. What are you gonna do with it? Before we get to the top story of the show, TNA is holding their first pay-per-view since being rebranded back to TNA. We have Hard to Kill. So let's go over the card and make our quick prediction. So in the pre-show, we have Rich Swann versus Steve Maclin. This is funny. This match features two former world champions, and they're wrestling in the pre-show, and that's what I love about TNA. You'll get your time to shine, and everybody knows the role and can contribute. But I'm going to take Steve Maclin to win this match here, just to get himself elevated back up the card. The next match on the pre-show is Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers taking on Frankie, Kazarian, and Kaz. We have ourselves some former world champions in this match, and this is a tag team match featuring, in my opinion, two TNA originals versus two new TNA upstarts who are going to be big parts of the company going forward. It's also very shocking that Kaz has never been TNA world champion, but we thought this feud with Kaz and Eddie Edwards were done. Maybe they'll go run it back, but I'm going to take Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers to win this match. And lastly, on the main event of the pre-show, we have Tommy Dreamer defending the Digital Media Championship in a no disqualification match against Crazy Steve. Take Crazy Steve to win this match. I think this is probably the safest bet you'll get on the entire card. Crazy Steve is walking away as your winner and your new champion. Then on the main card, we have ABC team defending the TNA World Tag Team Championship against the Rascalz, Mike Bailey and Trent Seven, and the Grizzled Young Veterans. Now, usually, I would say ABC will retain, but TNA likes to do shocking things occasionally when it comes to the new signings. Take Grizzled Young Veterans to come in and win the championships, and then I'm hoping to start a feud with ABC. But this is going to be a bona fide banger of a match. We have three bona fide teams. Then we got Mike Bailey and Trent Seven, like kind of one of the few new first times teaming up. But take Grizzled Young Veterans to win this match. Next up, we got a quote-unquote dream match with Josh Alexander taking on the free agent of Alex Hammerstone. If you don't know Alex Hammerstone, go check out his work in NWA. He is very, very good. We know Josh Alexander. And this is going to be a banger of a match. And I'm taking Hammerstone to win just because Alexander losing won't hurt him. And it's going to be a showcase for Alex Hammerstone, so take him to win this match. Next, we have Dirty Dango versus PCO. This is probably the most random match on the card, but take Dirty Dango to win. He's got too much help with him, as he'll have Johnny Bravo and Alpha Bravo and Oleg Prudis with him, and they'll just be able to run interference. So take Dirty Dango to win this match. Who is the mystery person? Who is the mystery person? I would tell you this: it is not Mercedes Moné. I personally think it's Ronda Rousey. That's just me. I think it's Ronda Rousey, but I could be wrong. We shall find out. Next up, we have Chris Sabin defending the X Division Championship against El Hijo del Vikingo and Kushida. Yeah, this match is going to be crazy. Now, a match like this would usually follow the Ultimate X rules, but that Ultimate X match is being held for something else. But this is gonna be fun. I I think Saban's retaining. I can pretty much confirm that Vikingo isn't winning the championship. Kushida is the walker, but take Chris Sabin to retain. Here next up, we have an Ultimate X match to determine the number one contenders to the TNA Knockouts Championship. And the participants in this match are Giselle Shaw, Zaya Brookside, Danny Luna, Jody Threat, Tasha Steelz, and Alicia Edwards. Now, Tasha Steelz won the first Ultimate X, the first Ultimate X match featuring the women, and she is the safe bet here, but we've got some new faces here in this group, and there are two women that I'm looking for big things to come forward to in TNA this year, and they are Giselle Shaw and Alicia Edwards. I'm going to go and pick Giselle Shaw to walk out as the number one contender, but this is going to be a really, really good match. There's no true powerhouses in here, unlike the last Knockouts Ultimate X match. We had Jordan Grace in there and Rosemary, who were kind of the wild cards, and Grace is the hoss. But take Giselle Shaw. And next up, we have Trinity defending the Knockouts Championship against Jordan and Grace, and we heard the rumors, and I think they're pretty much true. Take Jordan Grace to win this match, to become I want to say 4-time Knockouts champion. Three times Knockouts champion. So take Jordan Grace to win this match, and Trinity can move on back to in the main event. Alex Shelley will be defending the TNA World Championship against Moose. This is Moose cashing in his Feast or Fire contract. And this is tough because Shelley's having a solid reign, but it hasn't been anything crazy. Moose is just a guy you can just always put in the main event. You can always count on him. So with the TNA rebrand, do you send the people home happy? I think you do, and I think Alex Shelley wins this match, retaining the TNA World Championship. We'll be right back. All right, I won't be before you very long. Today we have the TNA Wishlist for 2024. This is what I'm hoping for. I'm praying for. Things that we get in TNA this year. TNA is back. They've been Impact Wrestling for the better parts of, I don't know, half a decade, maybe more. I remember they were Global Force Wrestling at one point, but they're coming back as TNA with their first pay-per-view of the year, Hard to Kill, which is a TNA a quote-unquote original pay-per-view. And they have a couple, but they're back tonight with a big show, and let's get into the wish list. And the first is with the pay-per-view. So last year, TNA ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 non-televised events. Now, if you look at the schedule, it says only 4 of them were pay-per-views, but they held No Surrender, Sacrifice, Under Siege, Against All Odds, Emergence, Victory Road, Turning Point, Final Resolution. So these aren't considered pay-per-views, but these are the names of original TNA events, right? And that's not including Multiverse of Madness, Multiverse United, Down Under, Multiverse United 2, right? So essentially, I need more clarity on the events, because we have quote-unquote Hard to Kill, Rebellion, Slammiversary, and Bound for Glory count as your pay-per-views, right? But I fondly remember No Surrender, Sacrifice, Against All Odds, Victory Road, and Turning Point being key TNA pay-per-views. Under Siege has become something I've seen for a year or two now. And you just need to figure that out. I get that they're Impact exclusives, but just call them. Just call them like it is. So run them, but just be clear. You know what I mean? And they run them every month. They've had a pay-per-view every single month. Hard to Kill, No Surrender, Sacrifice, Rebellion, Under Siege, Against All Odds, Slammiversary, Emergence, Victory Road, Bound for Glory, Turning Point, Final Resolution. There was a pay-per-view every month before them considered actual pay-per-views, where the others were Impact Plus exclusive events. Their pay-per-views. Just clear that up for me, please. Because they run good shows. Next up, I want more from Alicia Edwards and Giselle Shaw. Now, I truly believe that these women can be something special in TNA. Giselle Shaw has never held a championship in TNA. And I'm kind of shocked about that, because she's been featured a lot. Now, Alicia Edwards also hasn't held a championship in TNA, and I think she can be someone you can bank on when it comes to TNA. They're both featured in the Ultimate X match tonight, right? I know Tasha Steelz. Jody Threats, the wild cards, and Danny Luna and Zaya Brooksard are new. They're not. We know who they are, but they're new to TNA. Giselle and Alicia are the two women that have week in and week out put in some great work in whatever storyline they're featured in. And I think we need a payoff. I would love to see them both hold championship gold this year. More specifically, singles gold. I don't need them as a tag team. Alicia Edwards has put in the work. Giselle Shaw has put in the work. Let's grow. Let's see these two ladies be elevated and what they can truly do when given the ball around with it. Because this is a good year. This is a year to really take some chances and take some risk. And I think you should take a risk on Alicia Edwards and Giselle Shaw. And another risk on someone I think you should take a chance on is Savannah Evans. And more specifically, I want to see her elevated to Hoss status. That's what I want. I want to see Hoss. I need to see a Hoss fight. There are 3 Hosses in TNA. Jessica Havoc, Jordynne Grace, Savannah Evans. It's time to do something with them. And you can even throw Kylan King in there. It's time to do something with them. I want to see Savannah Evans pushed as that monster. I'm tired of her being someone's sidekick, being someone's lackey. It is time to elevate Savannah Evans into a Hoss. Period. I want to see her fight. I want to see her be a monster, and then give me that fight between her and Jessica Havoc. Give me that fight between her and Jordynne Grace. It needs to come. It's going to come. Hopefully. Now, we've been hearing so much about this new signing for TNA. This brand new signing. All I'm going to say is, with this signing, it better be worth it. You hype this up, Scott D'Amore, you better do something with them. It better be, the words of them is, awesome. They need to contribute immediately. They don't have to make an immediate impact, no pun intended, but they need to make their presence known week in and week out. Who is it? Who is it? I don't think it's Nick Nemeth, because I believe he just signed with New Japan. It could be Ali. Hell, it could be Ronda Rousey. Who knows? But I want it. I want it. Next up, I am hoping for, wishing for, to see two people that you least expect given major pushes. One from the women, one from the men. And when it comes from the women, I've already said Giselle Shaw and I've already said Alicia Edwards. I want to see Kylan King elevated to the top of the card. I want to see her given the reins, given the ball, and ran with it. I think she's earned that. And then on the men's side, this one's a little tougher because you can pick a lot of different people and say, hey, it's time to shine. What I really want to see is I want to see a Trey Miguel World Championship run. That's what I want to see. I want to see Trey Miguel with the World Championship. He's different. He is special. I believe he was even in the PWI 100. And he was like 10th from last year's awards. I think it's his time. I think it's his time to be elevated. Okay? I'm just throwing that out there, and it wouldn't be detrimental to the Rascalz either. I think I'm just ready for this guy to be the guy. You know what I mean? Next up, this is easy prediction. Just continue working with other promotions. You work with AAA. You work with New Japan. I think they even worked with CMLL at one point. TNA is the true forbidden door, and that's all I want. It's just all I want, man. It's all I want. It's all I want. Continue working. Continue letting guys go to other companies safely, and bringing eyeballs back to TNA. And then I think you should lock in your roster. They have re-signed a couple people, but like lock them in. I don't need to hear about Allen Angels about to leave. I don't want to hear Chris Bay is about to go. I don't want to hear Giselle Shaw and Jordan Grace are free agents, even though Jordan Grace has done everything in TNA at this point. I just want you to lock in your roster and build your stars. Okay, that's it. You've got a couple of new signings. You got Zaya Brookside, who is only 24, and I think you're really banking on. You signed Danny Luna, who's also only 24. She's going to be a really good part of your roster. And you've got your men. You've got people that you've had for a minute, but lock them in and then let the new blood slowly shine through. So just lock in your roster. The Digital Media Championship. I've said this time and again. I hate the name of the championship. I hate it. I hate it. The Digital Media Championship. Now, I do love that it involves the men and the women, because you already have your mid card in you have the X Division Championship, which is also actually intergender, I believe. But since Jordan Grace was the first ever Digital Media Champion, we haven't had another woman win the belt. Just show that everyone can be involved. I really wish it was just called the TNA TV Championship, but I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'm just hoping it can be considered a true mid-card title. And Tommy Dreamer is the current champion. So if we look at former digital media champions, we've got Jordan, Matt Cardona, Rich Swann, Brian Myers, Joe Hendry, Kenny King, and Tommy Dreamer. Hendry held that belt for 266 days. He's the longest reigning champion. But the title still doesn't feel super important, even with Hendry and Swann and Cardona holding the belt. I just need to see it treated just with a little bit more importance. Maybe run a tournament to determine like a number one contender. Tournaments always make everything feel important. And lastly, this is something that I've been praying for, hoping for, crying for, begging for. The Knockouts tag team titles. I need less teams of two women thrown together and more bona fide teams. And the way to fix that is I think TNA should cross over the championships with other promotions, more specifically AEW and Ring of Honor. AEW/Ring of Honor has teams. They have teams. They have women's teams that can go. If you don't believe me, let's break it down. We go to the women, right? So for teams, we got Anna, whose partner is Ty Conti, who's out right now. That's fine. We have Athena and Billy Starks. We have Diamante Mercedes Martinez. When she's healthy, when they're both healthy, actually, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. We have Julia Hart and Sky Blue. We have Chris Statler and the Willow Nightingale. We have Mariah May and Toni Storm. Marina Shafir and Nyla Rose. You see where I'm going with this. At the current moment, we have Ruby Soho and Saraya. Like, they have teams, whereas TNA really doesn't have any teams. And if we move over to the Ring of Honor roster and look at the women, we also have the Renegade Twins. We have Rochelle Ellering and Layla Hirsch. I just think it's something that needs to be done, that has to happen. You can get so many more eyes on your product in TNA. You can get so many more eyes on your product in AEW/Ring of Honor. Now think about it. Like Collision, we're at the top of the hour. It's 9:00. Tony Schiavone's in the ring, and he goes, we hear you. We always want to strive to do better. So let me introduce to you one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, who has a special announcement to make, and he brings out Gail Kim. And Gail Kim comes out with MK Ultra and says that we are going to have the Knockouts titles now be defended between AEW, Ring of Honor, and TNA. And we're going to have a tag team gauntlet match or a tournament or something to decide the number one contenders. And now you have eyes on TNA. You have eyes on Ring of Honor. You have eyes on AEW. And the Knockouts titles now just became that much more important. And then, hey, take them to other companies. Because the International Championship has been defended between other companies. Do that with the Knockouts tag team. I just want to see more for the Knockouts tag team division. And I think this is the perfect way to do that. I don't know if you guys can tell, I really love TNA wrestling. So, let me know what you think. Any more predictions, any wish list items that you would love to see? Because that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. That's our show. Next week, we've got a list for you on Tuesday, which is what I'm looking forward to in 2024. We've got the High Res Wrestling Podcast next Saturday, which episode 159, wrestlers to look out for in 2024. Don't forget with the High Res Wrestling recap every single Sunday and wrestling Reddit content every Thursday. That is our show. Don't forget to check me out on socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram. The 215 on Twitter. We got coffee. We got Patreon. We got the website coming in. As always, Bailey, Isla Dawn, Anna J, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, and Gigi Dolan. Holla at your boy. Peace.